Hello everyone, and welcome to my new Let's Play. This is going to be Classic Challenge. So basically, I'll start by just explaining what Classic Challenge is and what it's going to be about. So basically, we are playing with classic vehicles. So, like for example, this Fortune Major. And then we have the the Classic Console Combine over there. So basically what it's going to be about is it is a challenge. We can only play with vehicles that are basically made up until or before 1985. That is sort of the boundary I have set for myself. So basically we can use any vehicle and any implement that is produced on or before 1985. So the challenge is we're going to be starting out with vintage machinery. I did struggle trying to find a vintage combine, so I just went for sort of the next best thing. I will go over the vehicles a bit more in detail in a few minutes. But yeah, basically, so I'm trying to make it sort of like as hard as possible. I do want it to be a challenge. So yeah, we've got the classic vehicles. We are also running seasons. So that will just add that little next sort of element of difficulty, obviously with germination times and harvest times and so on. On top of that, we are also playing in hard mode. So this is set to hard mode, so I will go through the settings with you. Just 1 second. If we go on here. So, wrong one. Yeah, we're playing in hard. Everything is off for helpers and all that kind of thing. We're not going to be using helpers. That is another thing that I have sort of stipulated to myself is no helpers. We are going to make this as difficult as possible. I've put the fuel usage on default rather than low. And yeah, that's about it in there. The other thing that's going to make it difficult is I have never, ever played with seasons. I've loaded the mod up in the past, but I've never actually physically had a game playing seasons, so this will be the first time I'm using seasons, so it'll be a learning curve for me as well. So, anyway, I'll go over some of the vehicles. So, like I said before, this is a Fortune Major. It was produced in 1963 and 1964, roughly. They did make them after that, but that's when they first sort of started production and around that period. Very nice mod. Got this off Mod Hoster. I would tell you the creator, but I honestly can't remember. And it is also an import from FS19. It's been crossed over. We also have the Class Console. This was made between the 60s and 70s, roughly. So it's quite an old combine, definitely a classic. Got some nice detailing on it. Again, I think this has been brought over from FS17. I could be wrong on that one, not too sure. I'm pretty sure that's what it said in the description. Again, can't remember who the mod creator was, I didn't write it down. But again, very nice. And then finally, we have the Ferguson TE20. This one's on Mod Hub, everybody knows and loves this one. This is going to be our front loader tractor eventually. I have just set it up with standard weight and the linkage on the back. That is literally all I've given it. Basically, we're going to work from there, but that's all that tractor is going to be. These are the machines that we're going to start with. Just thought 2 tractors and a combine are basically perfect for what we need to get started. We have no implements at all, so we do need to actually go and buy them. I'll give ourselves a £10,000 budget, so we are on a tight budget, and basically we need to build up the farm, and we need to basically try and get everything we need in this sort of like period of up to harvest. Otherwise, we're going to be in trouble, basically. That's pretty much short and long of it. So if we go into the map, normally on this map, you start with this farm here, and you get these sort of fields around here. This map is sort of broke up into blocks rather than... it does have individual fields, but it has blocks as well. So you start off with this block with 29 and 30. I thought the fields were a little bit big. I know we could have cut them up a little bit, but I decided we're not going to go with that one. We're going to go with this one down here. It's a cow farm, just the same as that one. It was roughly the same value. But instead we get 4 small fields instead. So if we come out of that mode, we've got 19, 10, 20, pardon me, sorry, I've got a bit of indigestion. We've got 19, 10, 20, and 40. At the moment, they are all grass fields, so we will need to plough them up to get some arable fields and get that sorted. So yeah, that's pretty much where we're up to. Turn this on. It's a very nice sounding tractor. I do like the sound of it. But yeah, so first job, we are going to head up to the shop, and we are going to go and buy some equipment that we need. So I think the first thing we're going to need is a plough, and then once we've got that, we can at least get a couple of fields ploughed up. Could actually put the grass and collect it. Might do that. Have a think about it on the way to the shop. But obviously we're going to need the equipment. We are keeping a couple of the fields as grass fields. I would like to get cows as soon as possible so that we can get them underway. I know we're not going to have many cows at first because we've not got the budget for it. But as soon as we get that sort of first harvesting, it would be nice to basically get things going on that one. So yeah, like I said before, we can use any tractor up to 1985. I have done my research on the vehicles. Now, I am giving some leniency as towards the implements. So basically, it does depend on availability. If we have the available items on ModHub, ModHoster, they're the main two sites I use. I don't tend to go on any other sites. But if we have the available mods on there, I will definitely use original equipment that is from that time period and that era. I've also tried to stick to sort of like stuff that is available in the UK region. So the only thing that's sort of out of place is the class combine, but obviously in the 70s, stuff was starting, came across from Europe and so on. So it kind of fits. They were sort of available, but only if you was willing to import. It's a bit more difficult to get, like a Fordson combine or something like that. With just no mods out there for it. So yeah, I'm getting a bit more lenient on the implements. If we can't find a classic version of what we're after, then I will basically just use something that we can get. Even if it's out of the time period that is just suitable for the tractor that we're using. So basically a horsepower requirement. And that's basically how I'm going to work it. I can't magic mods up out of thin air, and if they're just not available, they're not available. And obviously we don't want to be stuck not doing the jobs we need to do just because we can't get that particular piece of equipment. And that's pretty much it, really. This map is, I believe it's pronounced Aghalee Farm. It is set in Northern Ireland. I was going to put the Northern Ireland biome on for seasons, but I decided against it. It would been my first time on seasons. I thought, no, we'll just stick to the absolute basic seasons package, and we'll sort of take it from there, and everything should be okay, hopefully. But we'll see how we go. So, let's have a look in the shop. Yeah, I think we'll cut the grass before we think it. It seems a waste just to plough it up before we've cut it. So, mowers. I do have a nice finger bar mower installed. It is going to cost us £4 though, so it is quite expensive. £4 for that. I've only got £10 budget. How much would the windrow be? Another £2. By the way, all these prices are as they came off ModHub or ModHoster. I haven't changed any of them at all. And then we'd also need the collection wagon, which is only 675, so I can live with that. I believe this particular collection wagon was available in, I think it was 1975, they started production. So we are in time for it. I think it's 1975, 1980, somewhere around there. So it is in timeline with what we need. Right, pretty much going to use all our budget if we do that, because we still need to buy Cedar as well. How much is that going to cost us? That's another 2 grand. Not too sure on that one. How to go about this. Tell you what. I know it seems a waste to do it, but we need to get those arable fields sorted. So what we're going to do is we are going to go straight in and plough the field. I think we'll go for the 3 and 5 for a plough. 250. So that's going to... Oh, 350, sorry. So buy that. That requires 20 horsepower. Buy that. Yep. Yeah, it does seem a bit of a waste, but what I think we'll do is we will plough one field up and then see how we fix the money after we've got the cedar and the seed and that obviously to go with it. I don't think we're going to get away with fertilising straight away. It is definitely going to be something that may have to come later, because we're not going to be able to afford everything. It's one of them, we either do the grass work straight away or we just sort of waste the grass. I think we have to waste the grass really. Seems a shame, but I think it's just the way it's going to have to be until we get those crops in and we get that actual money coming in. We're just going to have to play it by ear and just do what we can do. Now, obviously the mission is to make a working farm, a successful working farm with limited machinery size. Now some of the fields are quite sizable on this map. Obviously I'm not going to go for fields that are too big because it will just take forever to get any of the work done on them fields. So obviously if we can get the equipment big enough in the time period of when that equipment was made, then I will go for a field that's sort of reasonable size to make that work. But if it's just going to be too much of a job, then we probably won't. Either that or we will, and then we'll sort of split the field in half or something like that, but we'll cross that bridge when we actually get to it. But yeah, it's just basically about making a successful farm out of the circumstances, basically. It's the challenge, and that is what we're going to do, and hopefully we can make this work. That is the mission. Like I said, I've never used seasons before. I've loaded it up a few times in the intention of using it, I just never did. So this will be a steep learning curve for myself as well. So it's going to be a lot of fun trying to figure everything out and how it all works. Because, like I said, I've never done it. I know, obviously, the basics. I have seen quite a lot of videos on seasons and people playing seasons and so on. So we should be able to make it work with my limited knowledge. Okay, so I think the best field we'll do is going to be field 20 just here. We'll get this all ploughed up and make it into an arable field. And I'm going to try and leave as much of a headland as I can, because I don't want it to be too close to the hedges. I know like machinery is smaller and it can get into tight spaces, but at the same time we don't want it to be too cramped. Oh, let's get this ploughed up. Should. Reasonable size arable field, to be fair. We'll probably get a couple of thousand off this field, depending on what crop we put in. Now, like I said, obviously we are playing hard mode and we are playing seasons, so crop prices are going to be a little bit more different than the standard game. They're not going to be quite as fruitful. Same for silage. Silage is just going to be a lot less on here than it would be on the base game, where you're getting like 2,000 pounds, euros, whatever, per 1,000 litres. It's most definitely going to be a bit different. So anyway, I'm going to crack on with this.
You don't need to know about that. Don't need to know about that. I'll protect you with my lies. You don't need to know about that. Don't need to know about that. Just let me love you. 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 Just put you on a throne. We'll put you on a throne. And I will go out on my own to see the world again. But until then, just let me love you. 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 Just let me love you.
And that's that done. That's pretty good. Not too bad. And it took me till, like, what, a few seconds ago to realise that you use this backwards to a normal plough. So whereas normally this edge would be going along the field, it's actually this edge you should be going along the edge of the side of the field with. Yeah, the learning curve, I very rarely use some of the classic equipment, to be fair. Oops, sorry if you heard that, I just slapped the microphone. Yeah, I've not really used the vintage equipment all that much, to be fair. I think the last time I actually used a piece of vintage equipment was in FS19, possibly, maybe early 17, can't remember. Definitely a while ago. So what we're going to do now is make sure that's not on. There we go. Put it on limit to field. There we go. Right, so we're going to store this in the shed. I think we'll just put it in here. Should be fine in here for now. So really, we need the cedar now, but I think it might be too cold. So what we're going to do is Alt and S for the seasons menu. There we go. So, currently 4 degrees today. Yeah, it's a little bit too cold for planting. Could have done canola, but it needs to be 5 degrees minimum. Okay. So we've got options. We either speed time up or we plough another field up. Give me 2 seconds and I'll have a quick think about it, and then I'm back in just a split second for you guys. Okay, so what I've decided to do is sped time up a little bit. I'm going to put it on times 15, and what we're going to do is we're going to head up to the shop, and if it's down the road, we're going to head up to the shop, and we're going to start buying some of the bits of equipment we're going to need. And in the meantime, we'll see if the weather warms up enough to do a bit of seeding. If not, then we may just plough another field, or obviously wait until the next in-game day and see what happens, obviously tomorrow kind of thing, if the weather warms up enough to get something planted. Obviously, we are going to have, I'm thinking 3 of these fields as arable and then just keep 1 as grass. I don't think we're going to need more than 1 grass field to start with. I've not managed to find food mixer that was made before 1985. I may be able to find an old looking one just so that we can make TMR, but I'll have to keep looking on that one. Obviously we don't need it right now, and it is going to be a little while before we do actually need it. So it, you know, there's no immediate rush on it. So, but I'm thinking that we're only going to need small amounts to start with, and even with the equipment that we're going to be having, we're not going to be able to make massive amounts anyway. So it is going to be a case of, obviously, we're not going to be able to have hundreds of cows. We're only going to be able to have a few. But obviously, money's money. If they produce milk, that's great. You know, it is going to be a case of, you know, if we get too many and we can't handle the amount of feed they take and stuff like that, we'll just have to sell a few cows off and get rid of them. You know, it's just the way it's going to be on that one, I think. But like I said, I do want to get the cows in ASAP, and I am thinking if we can try and get them in for the first harvest, that would be ideal. That would sort of be the ideal sort of timing for getting everything in place, ready for it. And that's what I'm sort of aiming for on that one. But obviously we still need all the implements. We need a seeder, we need cultivator, we're also going to need a trailer. We haven't got a trailer yet either. We are going to need that. So it is going to be a bit hard pressed with the amount of money that I've given us to get started, but top out the challenge, that's kind of what I'm trying to do. I want it to be challenging. I have set it up as hard as I possibly can to make it a challenge. I just want it to be something we really have to work for. So, right, let's have a look. So, if we get the seeder first, because that is detrimental, we really need that. Where are we? So, I found this one here, this I think it's pronounced Hassia. It is a self-propelled one with the wheels. It's only a 2 meter working width, so it's not massive. I have seen another one that is bigger, but obviously we'll get that. We'll look at getting something like that later when we get some tractors that are a little bit more modern. So we're going to buy that for now. That will be perfectly adequate, I think. And we need some seed for it. So I have installed the handbag mod. Handbag mod? Yeah. The bags of seed that you can move by hand. So hopefully that should be enough for seeder. And then at least we can manoeuvre them as well, especially if we're not having a front loader or anything like that yet. It is going to take a little while. That was nowhere near enough. Let's buy another 2. I think another 2 should do it. Go. Not sure how much seed this is going to use. There'll be a bit of a learning curve on it. Obviously, ideally we could do with the big bags, but we have nothing to move them at the moment. So I think we'll make sure it's full. Let's just put another... You know, we could have bought a big bag actually and just left it here if we needed to. But I just thought these little bags were ideal for moving around and stuff like that until we get front loader for the Massey. I could have put it on to start with, but like I said, don't want to give us too much to start with. I do want it to be challenging. There we go. So we've got, it takes 5 of them to fill it 500 plastic. Should have looked, but never mind. Actually fits on this tractor really, really well. Sits quite nicely on it. Not too much weight on the back. And it's only 1 degree less than what it needs to be to sow. Unless we plant something else. Let's get back to the farm, and then I'll have another look at the season's menu and see if there's something, another crop we could potentially plant. I think wheat can be done at 4 degrees, I'm not too sure, but we'll have a look when we get back to the farm. So just having a look at it now, it does seem that the lowest temperature is 5 degrees, unless you go for grass, but we don't want more grass, we just plough that up. So, we have a go for canola, wheat or barley. I'm just worried about the germination not working. You know what? I think we'll risk it. We will risk it. It's only 1 degree less. I have seen people do it 1 degree less and it's worked out okay. So I think we'll go with canola. Obviously try and get as much money in as possible. And lower that down. There we go. Yeah, try and get as much money as possible in with our first crop. I am hoping that this germinates okay. Actually, it's only 1 degree less, and I have seen other people do it at a bit lower temperature than what it should be. and it's turned out okay. Maybe a few missed patches where it's not germinated quite right, but I'm not too concerned about a few little patches. It's more the whole field not germinating that I'm more concerned about. But at least the seed and stuff like that hasn't cost us too much. Now, obviously we spent like what, £470 to actually get the seed, but that's not too bad. I can live with that kind of thing. Even if we only get, say, 3/4 of the field to germinate, that's still a bonus. But we'll leave the other fields until it gets warmed up. I'm not going to risk doing any more fields without it being the correct temperature. Anyway, I'm going to crack on and we will get this field completed.
Occasionally, I need to breathe. Stop me for a second, I got needs. Occasionally, I set them free. Don't hold me back now, I'm in the lead. This on so bravely, steady steps on the ground. Hate me, but I ain't never coming down, never coming down. Cause lately, I've been dancing on my own so bravely. Now they're round on my mind. Hate me, but I ain't never coming down, never coming down. I'm never coming down, never coming down.
Well, that went pretty quick to be fair, and that seeder used barely any seed. It was pretty efficient. Feels a lot more efficient than a modern seeder, weirdly. And this, what do you call it again? I've forgotten. Oh, Fordson Major. That's the one. I'm very impressed with it. Very nice tractor. Really enjoyed using this one today. First time I've used a proper vintage in a while, and this is definitely one to have a look at. Like I said, available on Mod Hoster. Don't usually recommend things on anything other than Mod Hub. The only thing I'll say is obviously be careful what you're clicking. But yeah, if you want to have a go at this one, have a look at Mod Hoster. Very nice. So yeah, the canola's planted now. Next time we'll probably look at getting that a bit of fertiliser. I have got a fertiliser spreader that we can use. Again, struggled finding something from the era, but I found something that kind of suits. So we'll take a look at that next time. So anyway, I am going to leave the video there. I hope you've enjoyed the video. If you did, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell. And I will see you again soon. And bye for now.